Hello YouTube, and welcome to part 5 of my PlayStation 2 collection update. There's going to be a lot of games here, so I'm going to try and get through them as quickly as possible. So let's get started. First game I've got here is Star Wars Racer Revenge. This is actually a very good racing game, I have to admit. I bought this during the era of PS2, and I really did enjoy it. This was a lot of fun game. I spent a lot of hours on this game. Yeah, it's a solid racer. If you like futuristic racing games, I definitely recommend this one. You know, even though it's a licensed game, it's still very good. Next game I've got here, continuing with Star Wars, you've got Star Wars Battlefront. This is a really cool first-person shooter. Again, I spent a lot of hours playing this game back in the day. It's a lot of fun. If you like Star Wars and first-person shooters, definitely worth checking out. Next game I have here, this is actually quite a rare one, and that is Fire Pro Wrestling Returns. It's still sealed, so I haven't played it yet, but I do look forward to it because this game, from what I've heard, the Fire Pro Wrestling series is a lot of fun, quite technical, but still very arcadey. At least that's what I've been told. So I look forward to trying this out at some point. Next game I have is G1 Jockey 3. This is a horse racing simulation game. At the time that I bought it, I just basically took a punt on this game. I was sort of thinking I'd like to try out one of these games, but I was hoping it was going to be a lot more arcadey, but it wasn't. This is very much a simulation game. It's like basically the Gran Turismo of horse racing games. Very, very technical, and for someone like me, very boring. Next up is Bujingai. What's it called there? Bujingai Swordmaster. This is very much sort of like a Devil May Cry clone. It's a very fun game. I like the fact that the main character utilizes more of sort of like a traditional kung fu. So it sort of plays kind of like a cross between Devil May Cry with a little bit of Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon thrown in there as well. So you've got like sort of like you sort of fly around the screen at various points, sort of very waifu style of gameplay to it. It's a lot of fun. I really like this game. Next up I have is Micro Machines V4. I bought this game on the strength of Metal Jesus Rock's Hidden Gems videos, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, you know, anyone who's played a Micro Machines game knows what to expect, and this one is no different. It's a lot of fun. If you like Micro Machines, top-down racing, then definitely pick this one up. Next game I have here is Psychonauts. This is a really cool 3D platform game. I highly recommend this game. It plays really well. It's got a great sense of humor to it. Yeah, this is definitely a gem on the PS2. If you see this game, definitely pick it up. You won't regret it. It is. I mean, you can see here the scores that it got. It's a very, very good game. But what appeals to me about this game mostly is the sense of humor. It's just got a nice, quirky vibe to it, and that's what I really like about it. So yeah, highly recommended. Next one I have here is Gradius 5. This is an awesome shoot 'em up. You know, what more can I say? I mean, if you know about Gradius, then you know what to expect. It's a fantastic game. If you're into shoot 'em ups, this is definitely a must-have. Another shoot 'em up here. We've got 1945 1 and 2. This is fantastic. It's very cheap as well, so I highly recommend you pick this up if you're into shoot 'em ups. It's the arcade game, so yeah, highly recommend it. Definitely pick this one up if you're into shooters. Next one I have here is Homura. It's still sealed. This is again, this is another shoot 'em up, and again, it's also quite a rare game as well. So if you do see this game in the wild, snap it up, especially if you see it cheap. I actually got a good price on this game, that's why I ended up picking it up, but it can go for about £20 and over. Next one I have here is Metal Slug Anthology. I'm going to say this is an absolute must-have for anyone that likes side-scrolling shooters. You've got here, let's see, you've got Metal Slug 2, Metal Slug X, Metal Slug 3, Metal Slug 4, Metal Slug 5, and yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. It's a brilliant compilation of games here. I mean, a lot of value for money. This can be quite a pricey game though. It generally goes anywhere between £15 to £20. Pick it up by all means, but of course, if you do see it cheap, definitely snag it. A lot of value for money in this compilation. Again, another shoot 'em up here is Siberia. Haven't spent a lot of time playing this game, but it's another solid shoot 'em up. Next one I have here is Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty. This is an excellent game, another solid game from the Metal Gear series, and it's a lot of people's least favourite game, mainly because you don't get to play as Snake for the majority of the game, but I still very much enjoyed it for what it was, and it's a great game. Next one is Ghost Rider. This is a very cool God of War clone. It doesn't break the mold in any way. There's nothing really special about it, but it has a solid engine. If you like Ghost Rider, you will enjoy this game. If you like hack and slash games, you will enjoy this game. But it doesn't try to reinvent the wheel. There's nothing new or innovative in this game. I think if you're not really a fan of the sort of hack and slash genre, this game will do nothing for you. But I was a fan of Ghost Rider. Not so much the movies, they're a bit shit. This is actually based on the movie, but it's a solid game, but it is nothing special. But if you do see it in the wild and you do see it for cheap, definitely give it a shot. Next up we have Freakout. This is a very odd game made by Treasure, but I have to say I'm not really feeling it. This is probably the first game made by Treasure that I don't really like that much. It's a 3D sort of platform game where the object is to sort of pinch your villains to death, I suppose. I didn't really spend too much time with this game, and the reason for that is because I just couldn't get into it. I played it, I just sort of found it kind of boring and a bit too weird. Not really my cup of tea. Next one we have here is Grand Theft Auto 3. I think this game needs no introduction. This game sort of set a benchmark for future Grand Theft Auto games. It's an awesome game. It has been bettered by its sequels, but it still stands up as a top quality game. Next game I have here is Spawn Armageddon. This is a really cool 3D action game. Again, it's just one of those games that there's nothing really new or innovative about it, but it's a fun game. If you're into Spawn, I definitely recommend checking it out. But it's definitely not worth more than a £5. Don't pay more than £5 for this game if you see it, because I know some places on eBay, some stores on eBay are trying to charge like £10 for this. It's not worth it. I picked up mine for 99p. It's not worth more than a £5 at most. So if you do see it cheap in the wild or cheap on eBay, pick it up. But don't pick it up if you see it for more than £5. Next one I have here, this is Soul Divide. Again, this is another sealed game I have. This is another shooter. It's a horizontal shooter, and I've actually played this on MAME. This is actually a very cool game. It's out on the Saturn as well, I believe. It's very, very much kind of like it sort of reminds me of Gynorg on the Mega Drive, where you don't have like a ship or anything. You sort of play as a character and you sort of fly around on the screen. But what's really sort of interesting about this game is it doesn't even play like a straight up shoot 'em up either. It's sort of kind of like I guess the nearest example I can think of is maybe, what's that game called on the Mega Drive? Is it Forgotten Worlds? Kind of like that. It's sort of like a floaty shoot 'em up / beat 'em up. Very, very cool and unique game. But again, this can be quite a pricey game. But if you do see it out in the wild for cheap, pick it up for sure. Next one I have here, this is Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex. I definitely had to get this game because I'd heard a lot of good reviews about it. It's a very cool 3D action game. Plays really well. You know, it's a solid game. Is it a must-have? No, but I definitely think that it has a great game engine, and it's a lot of fun. So if you do see it in the wild, pick it up. Next one I have here, this is Way of the Samurai 2. I haven't spent too much time with this game, but if I was to describe it very quickly, it's basically Grand Theft Auto set in feudal Japan, and that's really all I can give you. Here we've got the second platinum game in my collection, and that is The Warriors. This is a brilliant game by Rockstar. It's very much a 3D beat 'em up. It's a great game. I'm a big fan of the movie that it's based on, so this is definitely a must-have. So if you see this out in the wild, guys, definitely pick it up. It's recommended. Oh, and I also highly recommend checking out the film as well. I love this movie. So yeah, if you don't know anything about the film, look it up. Next one, I've got Extreme G Racing. This is a futuristic racing motorbike game, and it's a lot of fun. I very much enjoyed this back in the day. It's a very underrated game in my opinion. I mean, the Wipeout series gets a lot of praise, and no one really talks about this series. This is a lot of fun. It's very much like Wipeout in many ways. The only difference is that the motorcycles don't hover. They are stuck to the ground, but the track layouts are very much in the style of Wipeout. Highly recommended because this game is a very cheap game to buy, and if you like futuristic races, this is a must-have. And next up, we have the sequel, Extreme G Racing Association. Not as good as the first game in my opinion, but it's still a lot of fun. And again, if you like futuristic racers, it's definitely another one to check out. This is 12 Stag. Despite the unusual name, this is actually a shoot 'em up, and it's a very good one. So again, it's not that expensive. You can generally pick this game up for a few quid. If you see it out in the wild, definitely pick it up. And the next one I have here is Zone of the Enders, and this is another really great game. Most people have heard of it, so definitely check this one out if you see it in the wild. And finally, I've got Zone of the Enders, the second runner. This is another brilliant game. Both Zone of the Enders game are very much 3D action shooting games. If you see them, definitely check them out, or get the HD collection that's on the PlayStation 3. So that's it, guys. That is the end of my video. Be sure to check back for part 6, and I will speak to you guys soon. Bye for now.